You should have dropped down. You still don't have a ladder yet, though, right?
I don't have a ladder.
Good morning. Today is another exciting day at Retirees Abroad here in our home. I have the garden behind me. It's a little bright. The sun's coming out this morning. And the Pergula update, it said it'd take about 7 days from start to finish. So day one was paying for it with a 50% deposit. Day two was the delivery of the polycarbonate, the white roofing material, which is right over there. And that's on a big roll for part of the roof. And it was delivered accidentally across the street to the other development on the other side. Thankfully, the guys figured that out and was able to get over there and pick it up. And it's so funny, we had an Amazon delivery that got lost a long time ago. Only one, thankfully. And we went across the street and talked to the guards, and the guards said that that is impossible that a delivery could end up over there because you must have the name of the homeowner, the casa or house number, and if it's not on the list and they cannot contact you, they will not accept the delivery. Well, the impossible happened, and our delivery of materials went across the street. So thankfully they were able to get it and bring it back over here. So that was day two, the delivery of the aluminum framing for the roof and the polycarbonate. Now, today, if it's really lucky and things work out really great, and I think it is a lucky day, because today when I was cooking my omelet, the large egg that I pulled out and cracked it open, it contained 2 egg yolks. And that's amazing. So that's a good luck day. If that doesn't tell you good luck, I don't know what does. So I ended up having a 3 yolk omelet with 2 eggs today. And my latte, of course, gotta have that. So today we're supposed to get all the pieces and parts and components to put everything together. And yes, they said that they would actually start working on it today on day 3. So today is the lucky day. So I'll keep filming and show you how and what it takes to get a pergola installed here in Mexico. And the best part was the price. Again, it was just a little over $2,000. And like I said, in the US, first of all, you would have to get probably an engineer or an architect to design it for you. Then you got to pay for that. So that could be $300 to $500, maybe $1,000 just for that. Then you have to take it to the homeowners association and wait weeks or months to get them to approve, make changes, and go back and forth. Then you got to submit it to the city. And then you got to pay the fees and everything to get the permits and the licenses. I mean, it's just almost absurd anymore how everything has gotten so complicated, so difficult. And you always got to ask why. Why does it have to be so difficult and expensive? They could still provide the service and keep the costs really low. But it's just gone the extreme opposite. And then if you're lucky, in 3 months, maybe you could start the project. Here, I just drew the sketch up myself, gave it to the builder, and he gave me a quote on that. And then I just texted and WhatsApped the picture to the contractors, the builders of the development here. And all 3 of them said, "You're good to go, Ken, just do it." And that was it. So it took me, maybe 30 minutes of time to achieve what would take 3 months in the USA and thousands of dollars just to get the project started. So not even counting what they would charge to put it in. I would think in the US I may have to spend $8,000 to $12,000 to do something like this. So if anyone out there has done a pergola in the US, let me know how much you had to spend. And this is probably about 12 feet wide and about 26 feet long, and it's L-shaped, and then it goes the other direction about another 8 feet by 12 feet, I believe. So it's a good sized pergola, but when it all gets enclosed, it'll be absolutely amazing. We can have coffee outside, enjoy the plants, and I want to put a waterfall feature in there. And so hopefully you guys will follow along and see how we develop and turn that into I want to make me feel like I'm in a little tropical jungle with a waterfall, or maybe in Colorado in the mountains and you come upon this wonderful waterfall coming down in the Rocky Mountains there. And that's the feeling I want to have when I'm sitting in the living room or I'm sitting out there and enjoying the garden. And I'm going to be bringing in a lot of plants and making those changes as well in the home. And hopefully you'll follow along with this as well. Well, have a great day and keep in touch. Here we can see the pergola starting to come together. They're assembling the frame pieces first, and then they'll raise it up to start putting the roof part in.
¿Cuánto va? Si te va a quedar acá al lado de...
They're looking good? They should have dropped down. You still don't have a ladder yet though, right?
No, I don't have a ladder.
Oh, that's why you gotta be careful, yes.
Be careful.
That was close. That was a close workman's comp.
We need it later.
See, as you just saw, that was a very close call. I could have been going to the hospital as the roof supports dropped, because they don't have a ladder and they agree they do need one. But here in Mexico, things are done a little differently. They make things work. He's standing on a 5-gallon bucket and a toolbox on top to try to reach the height he needs. So hopefully they'll be getting a ladder soon. Safety first. Well, they got one side mounted, so you can see it's going to come up about 50 centimeters above the garden wall. So it's starting to come together. All right, the fun and excitement of working with contractors. I was very, very clear when we discussed and we're all together that I did not want a specific kind of screen material and framing for the pergola. So what did I get? The one I did not want. And that just seems to be the way life goes. So we had a meeting with all the people in charge. And of course, they're saying I have to pay the difference because they only build out and quoted the cheap stuff that I did not want. So of course, it's my fault again. And that's something I've always kind of learned with dealing with contractors. And again, I've been a contractor for many years, and I would usually handle it a little bit differently. But, you know, again, it's just a little different here. I'm still negotiating. But let me show you what they gave me and why I don't like it. All right, so this is the mosquito framing. See, it's got a nice aluminum corner. It's got some build-up edges. Nothing exciting, but it's kind of hard to show here, but it is extremely flimsy. Look how it just rocks and shakes. There's no support to this whatsoever. Again, they delivered gray screen material, and they promised me that it is being replaced with black. But day 3, I've still not seen the black screening. But due to the conflict over what kind of framing I wanted for the screen, I want something that's double-walled aluminum, and it has a plastic corner like this that's visible on the outside on the corner. But you just cut a 90 degree, not a 45 degree, and join them together. It's very simple, less work, but it is probably 4 times stronger and more rigid. Here they're also having to drive, let me find it for you here. They're taking a screw to attach it to the roof, and they're having to put it at an angle, which of course is not really going to show up here. But I have to do it at a very sharp angle to get it to catch. And there's just not enough metal here to grab. So to me, it's just going to come loose, it's going to break, it's going to fall apart, and you will see all these pieces from below when you look up at the top, because I want it to be invisible when it goes on the roof. I don't want to see all the joints, the screws, the connectors. And my idea would resolve all those problems. So we're waiting for the solution, waiting for the pricing, and we'll bring you an update when that gets done. And they did change out the polycarbonate here. They bought 2 different manufacturers of polycarbonate. So up here it has kind of a yellowish warm white, and then over here they removed it, but that was a blue color white. Did not even match. And again, they were running the texture of it 2 different ways, and I said I want it ran the same direction so it looks the same. Again, I'm very particular on a lot of my items and what things look like when it gets done, but that's something I've learned you just need to be. So without further ado, I will keep you up to date on the Pergula installation. Have a great day. Finally, I think it took 2.5 months to finish the Pergula. Not knowing the right people to contact makes a big difference. So that's what makes it challenging as well. When you're staying in another country, trying to find who works the best, what are the greatest contractors to work with, word of mouth. That's difficult to find. And I thought I had someone because I was working with an attorney of mine, a friend, but should probably stay with the attorney side. But anyway, we ended up finally getting it done. It's not exactly the way I designed it. It changed multiple times trying to get it designed properly. But in the end, it got done. Let's look at it a little closer here. Okay, so I'm going to see how close I can get to see the detail. These screens were supposed to be made so that I can remove a screw, several of them. This whole frame will pop out, and then from above I can remove the screen, do a replacement, easy peasy. I could even do it myself. But because they insisted on using a 1-inch square frame, which is very strong, it did present other problems. First, once you screw it in, there was gaps all the way around that you could see light coming through. So of course mosquitoes and bugs could come in, and the whole point of doing this was so I'd have no mosquitoes and bugs. So their alternative way to solve it is to caulk everything. Okay, again, yeah, that stopped the mosquitoes. But when I have to replace this frame will not pop out. Now I gotta cut the glue out and force the thing through. It's gonna be a nightmare whenever the day comes that I've gotta change this out. So again, some of the challenges of working on things. I've never done a pergola before, never worked with this material before. I designed it using 1-inch L brackets. So it looks something like this when it went in. That way it would be flexible, it could be screwed in tightly, and if I wanted to caulk the L bracket, I could and still remove the screen frame. But the way this is done, I have to take out the big frame first, then remove the screen frame. So we'll see how things work. But anyway, we got that done finally. Overall, I would give it a 6 out of 10 for quality and workmanship when it's all said and done. But overall, I'm very happy with it. And then just to get by for now, I went ahead and just dropped down a roll of green artificial turf from Home Depot. And this was about, I think $400 for that delivered. And that will make it at least look a little bit nicer instead of looking at dirt until I have time to start landscaping. Working on the designs now for that. Overall, I think the pergola, it ended up being $2,400 US all said and done, which is way cheaper than US, but I think I probably overpaid compared to some of the neighbors here. But it depends on what components they end up using and what it looks like when they get done. So once again, adios, and thank you for joining Retirees Abroad. And we look forward to showing you more exciting adventures and what it's like building a home in Querétaro, Mexico.